Welcome to episode 93 of Star Wars and Scotch. It's Kevin. I'm joined by Tim as
Hi.
usual.
Hey.
And we are here live from Tampa Bay, Florida, in the Rare Drop Studios and the D429 Studios.
Nice.
It's been a while. I want to do that again.
There's just one studio here, Kevin. Please don't make them think I have multiple studios in my house.
Well, I'm in the Rare Drop. Technically I'm in my
Studios.
office.
Yeah, but you have like multiple studios
I
in
do.
your AirDrop office.
We
Whereas
do.
I only have one studio.
And I don't even use it because Paul likes my backdrop for
It's
the
nice.
office.
It works. It works for you.
Whatever makes you all happy. Some people have asked actually what the smoking man is, and it shows your lack of knowledge of classic television. That is Rod Serling from The Twilight Zone. Which
Imagine
is one
a
of my favorite
world.
shows. Come on. Yeah, we're here to talk about Star Wars. Before we do that, I want to thank you, Tim, for getting me my first victory royale in Fortnite.
Oh my
the other day.
gosh. Yeah. So I went over to Kevin's house and he was playing Fortnite. And he was like, "Oh, I still don't have a win yet." And I was like, "Oh my God. Okay, hold on."
He almost fainted.
So I was like, let me see how bad it is on an Xbox controller. And I was like, well, this is dog water. So I went home and I immediately said, Kevin, let's try this. Like no comms, no nothing.
No comms.
We just duoed into a no build game and right off the rip got Kevin his win. So
Yep. Pretty good. It was a fun ending
welcome.
too. That
Yeah, it was great.
That guy was all over the place. But thank you. It was
You're welcome.
It was
You're welcome. Cheers.
very
Yeah.
appreciated. The next day, I went back to do it solo, and I came in second, third, and 69th when I played. So, fucking the guy, I baited this one guy, and he was in this hut above me, and I went under it, and he couldn't figure out where I was, and then he jumped down, and guess how I died, Tim?
Fall damage?
Mm-mm.
Oh, how?
Remember the thing that killed me when you were watching when I was in third place?
No.
I didn't reload my
Oh, you didn't
shotgun.
reload your gun. Oh, yikes.
So I got 2 shots in him, and then it was.
I love that you're getting into Fortnite just 4 years too late.
I mean, the only reason I'm playing is because zero build. If it wasn't zero
Yeah.
build, I still wouldn't play it. But everyone seems to play zero build now. I was watching Ninja and Tfue yesterday, and I think it's just more relaxing. Is that the feel?
Yeah, it's not sweaty. I got to whip out some of my Star Wars skins for you. I had Black Chrysanthemum. I had Obi-Wan.
Black Chrysanthemum was nice. I kind of
Yeah.
want that one. Well, my whole goal is to hit 100 this season, so I
So
can
you
get
can have
Vader.
Darth Vader. Yeah.
Yeah. So I'm working on that.
There's
But,
so much Star Wars in Fortnite. It's wild. There's still lightsabers and blasters.
I was killed by Wolverine yesterday.
Oh God.
That was who killed me in that match. So
It's
and it was
crazy though is that Fortnite makes it all within the same universe.
Yeah,
So-
because they're like the nexus of the multiverse or something. That's how they
yeah.
explain
So
that
Star
away.
Wars and Marvel are actually they exist together. Think about that. It's
That's
weird.
pretty cool.
It's weird.
Did you see? Speaking of, there's a little off topic, but in the Disney realm, did you see the article I sent you the other day that Bob Iger did petition DC or Warner Brothers to purchase DC from them?
No, I didn't see that.
Yeah, I sent it to the group chat. Freaking
Missed it.
in 2017, Bob Iger went to Warner Brothers and was like, "What would it take?"
Damn.
So I was right all along, Tim.
Damn.
We could have had Batman in Endgame, and oh my god,
Ah, man, that would have been sick.
Superman and Thanos, and the dark side's like, "I like you. We're gonna hang out, Thanos." And oh my
Man.
god,
Man, just think about that, all you DC nerds. Warner Brothers hates you.
I mean, they knew that already.
They want to just continue ruining your favorite brands.
Just watch Comic-Con when the poor Rock had to cover for why Henry Cavill wasn't there. Anyway, also the ending scene of the movie that came out that's about Batman's dog and Superman's dog.
Yes, with Kevin Hart and
Yeah, there's a secret scene at the end, and it's Shazam's dog.
no way. That's great. That's fantastic.
Anyway, back to Star Wars. It's okay. We're light on news in quantity. We're heavy on news in quality, in my opinion, this week. Would you agree with that?
I would agree.
But before we go any further, I would like to say that I am drinking some delicious King's Coast coffee this morning, freshly delivered this week. Drinking, what is this that I'm drinking this morning? I forget what Danielle made because I didn't make the coffee.
Oh,
It's Aztec. It is Aztec. Okay.
man, saved it. It's like this is gonna be a weird promo if he can't remember the coffee he's drinking.
It's just all good.
Okay.
It's all good.
I'm sipping on some summer swell still. I got that summer swell cold brew.
It's almost our anniversary too, September 5th, which Ben will forever forget the King's Coast anniversary.
Oh, I wasn't sure whose anniversary you're talking about. I was wondering what you were getting me.
No, well, I got you something for your birthday that's Star Wars related that I already told you I was getting you. So
yes,
that's on its way. Let's see, it'll be here.
I tried making a joke, and now Kevin's talking about a gift he actually got me.
No, it's King's Coast anniversary on Ben's birthday, but Ben always forgets.
Well, because it's usually raid day as well.
Yes. Well, it hasn't been that way for a few years, but yes,
yeah,
it used to be raid day, Ben's birthday, and King's Coast anniversary for what, 2 years there? I think?
For a bit.
Fun times. And the whole purpose of that was so we could launch on raid day in 2017, so people would know about the product. Oh. And we didn't think ahead. It was like me when I got married on Memorial Day weekend. I'm like, oh, this is fun. Everyone's off. There'll be a ton of people here. 10 years in the future, and in COVID frat boy hell this year at St. Pete Beach, I learned my lesson as to why that wasn't such a hot idea.
Nice.
Yeah, well, it was definitely a Utsa night.
All right. So
kingscoastcoffee.com. Man,
I'm ticked off, Kevin.
About which we talked about the tick off last week. You're more ticked off at more stuff.
Yeah.
What?
Well, now Andor's not coming out at the end of the month.
It's okay. I'm okay.
No, we have to wait a whole nother month now.
It's one, but you have House of the Dragon. You have what Marvel show's coming out?
Do you think that's why they moved it? Was because of everything else coming out?
You had House of the Dragon. Marvel has a show coming out. Which show is it?
Is it? It's not She-Hulk, is it?
It's She-Hulk. So She-Hulk.
Oh, She-Hulk. Yeah.
So She-Hulk, House of Dragon, and Rings of Power.
Oh, they totally moved it because of She-Hulk.
Yeah. So I think the play there was to change it to.
What about our podcast?
Our podcast will be fine. Trust me, it'll be fine. If you don't think I'm going to find ways to work Lord of the Rings into our show, you're sadly mistaken, sir.
We're going on an adventure.
Yeah, but that's why they moved it. I mean, that is some thick nerd shit you're stepping into. And they're still going to be in the midst. They're still going to be at the tail end of House of Dragon and She-Hulk, or She-Hulk might be over by then, but they're still going to be at the tail end of House of Dragon. They'll definitely be in like the middle of Rings of Power.
Yeah.
So it's for us it's like Christmas. We're like, ha ha.
I'm gonna have so much things to watch. I'm so excited.
I'm over the moon. Like I'm gonna watch Rings of Power. Exactly. I'm gonna watch Rings of Power twice a week because I'm gonna watch it.
He's gonna watch
it
daily. It's gonna be wild.
You're not wrong. Probably. Because I'm gonna watch it on my own, a premiere, and then we're gonna do Twitch watch parties for it as well. Which people are like, why don't you watch it with us the first time? I'm like, you're cute.
Oh my God. Ew.
No, not. I have two IPs that I adore: Star Wars and Lord of the Rings, Middle Earth. Not happening. Comfort of my own home, sipping tea and eating.
Kevin likes to watch those naked. Please let him have that.
That's how I watch all the Star Wars premieres.
Just butt ass naked on his couch.
I mean, I'm not even kidding. Like, I go out in my underwear and that's the first thing I do. When I piss, I go to the couch and I watch whatever Star Wars show we're watching.
Yeah,
so
there you go.
Unless it's a workout week, then it's usually
so
a rush.
So they announced the delay by releasing a trailer on Good Morning America.
Well, and I'm happy because this is the full trailer. This is everything you wanted. It explains more of the plot of the show. Tim hasn't seen it yet.
I haven't seen it yet.
So we're going to watch it together with you. If you're on audio and you'd like to see Tim watch the trailer, just switch to video. It's on YouTube, Facebook. But for your audio listeners, obviously we can't show you the video for obvious reasons. But we're going to watch the trailer. We'll talk about the trailer, and then we'll talk about some of the things they said about how the show was made. So, Paul, if you could roll that beautiful bean footage, please, so Tim can experience the official trailer for Andor on Disney+.
On Disney+.
Exclusive 4K.
Oh.
I love the scale there.
Yeah, dude, it looks huge.
To steal from the Empire?
Love love that. I'm just showing just how they're
You
just
walk
stripping
in
the
like you
planet.
belong. They're so proud of themselves. So fat and satisfied. They can't imagine that someone like me would ever get inside their house.
Ooh.
Cassian Andor. The Empire is choking us so slowly. We're starting not to notice. What I'm asking is this.
Wait, that's the cutting ship
Wouldn't you
from
rather give it all
Fallen Order.
to something real?
That could be the same planet. Seeing Kestus there would make sense.
I need all the heroes I can get.
For the greater good.
That guy's from Rogue One. Hey,
Yeah.
Tim, look who it is.
Call it what you will.
Let's call it war.
Yes.
Lies. Deception. Ooh, clone
Fermenting.
troopers.
There's some pockets of fermenting.
You're in my net.
Some 1313 action.
Are you a fish? Or are you a thief?
ISB.
You're slipping.
I'm not slipping.
I'm trying to figure out, is there information about who Luthen is?
I don't know who Luthen is.
As long
Holy
as everyone
shit.
thinks I'm an irritation,
Yeah, Mon Mothma.
there's a good chance they'll miss what I'm really doing.
What are you really doing?
Hey, Colma.
Death Troopers.
Death Troopers.
This is what revolution looks like.
I'm tired of losing.
Holy shit.
Yep.
Wow. 3 episodes? We get 3 episodes the first day?
You're not as mad anymore, are you?
I'm not as mad anymore. Oh, wow. We
So
get 3
that-
episodes? That's a whole movie.
So hear me out. Hear me out. Hear me out. September 21st is a Wednesday. I think if we can, we should take off from the gym.
Evan,
watch-
shut up.
What?
I'm not taking off from the gym.
All right,
No.
we won't take off from the gym.
What
I
the-
want to do is we should do a Star Wars and Scotch watch party
Yeah.
for this instead of an episode, because there's no way in hell we're going to be able to record an episode that morning. So what if either in the evening or something we go? The only problem is I want to avoid spoilers, so we have to balance that against being
I don't know.
online
I don't
and
know.
all that
We'll
stuff.
we've got some time. We'll figure it out.
But there's no way in hell we're going to be able to record an episode that morning because
No,
with
we'll
our
figure
lives,
it out.
it's gonna be impossible.
It'll be a whole day experience. I don't know. We'll figure it out.
we should go to Disney, watch Andor.
No.
Hey, do you have a TV in the Millennium Falcon by any chance? What do you think?
Oh my gosh, that was quite the trailer. I love that it feels a lot like Rogue One. Like it's that same gritty, dark vibe, and I love that. And we got like you can definitely see how it was broken up. Like the scenes with like Saw Gerrera, like that's definitely towards the end. Like as we get closer to Rogue One, that beginning when he's like the beginning shots where you see like the clone trooper, like the clone dropships. When you see him like joining into the Empire, like you can see how it's going to be broken into how they're telling the story. It's going to be, what is it, 3 episodes? It's 4 chunks and it's 3 episodes per chunk.
Yeah, because it's 12 episodes per season, so every 3 episodes will be a chunk of time.
It's going to be a new chunk of time as we move forward in his story. But remember, like it's 2 seasons, so even where we think like we're getting towards the end, it's going to have a whole nother part where then we get even closer to Rogue One.
And it's 2 seasons. They said this.
It's confirmed 24 episodes, 2 seasons.
The ending of the show will walk us up to when we meet him on whatever moon that is at the beginning of Rogue One, where he stabs
The
that
end
guy in
of the
back.
second season will get us there.
Yep. He according to the folks at Comic-Con and what they heard, like he's literally going to be walking to that facility. Like that's how the show is going to end.
Yeah.
So you'll
but,
be
like,
able to watch. You will be able to watch Andor all the way through A New Hope and not skip a beat in the timeline. Like you were just going to coast through.
I like seeing a not as mechanic Saw Gerrera, like as you see him like in Jedi Fallen Order, like where he has more of like his actual body. Even like when you like see him in Clone Wars, like he looks nothing like the guy that you see in Rogue One.
It's great to see him, but I don't think anyone is like, oh my God, Saw Gerrera's in the show. It's almost
No,
like,
I think everyone just kind of assumes. Like, I mean, like if he's become quite the character. Like he's in a video game, he's in an animated show, he's now in 2 live action productions. It's pretty intense. So it would be crazy for him not to show up in the next Jedi game, in the next in Survivor.
yeah, I mean, he was in the last one, so
Yeah,
don't
I
see
mean,
why
it would
wouldn't
make
be in this
sense.
one. With him too, it's interesting because he's kind of the model of becoming the thing you fought against, and that's how they tend to use him in the storytelling. Even in Clone Wars,
he's an anti-hero.
I don't even think he's a hero. I wouldn't even call him that.
I mean, like, there's parts where he's like, no, I get it. It's like Thanos, right? Where you're kind of like, I see where you're coming from.
He is the guy from Mandalorian, the pilot who calls the rebellion terrorists.
Yeah, Bill.
Saw Gerrera is who he's talking about,
Well, sure. Yeah, most definitely.
in my opinion.
Yeah, but I mean, again, it's like Thanos, where you're like, no, I understand why you're like killing half of the universe. You know, it's like, I get it from your point of view. Also, I get it from Saw Gerrera's point of view, especially if you go, his backstory is explained very, very well in Clone Wars. If you go to, he's from Alderaan.
Onderon.
I was like, he's one of those Andor. So he's from that planet, and the Empire was terrible to those people, and so he got to see the really, really dark stuff. So I can understand like why he is the way that he is, especially with the relationship with him and his sister. So it's like I get it, I understand.
Yeah, I'm interested to see the capacity in which they use him. Obviously, we saw some of his team that we meet in Rogue One as well. In that one shot.
Crap, I forgot what that guy's. What's the species?
I forget. But
in my book, I've got a book back there. It's funny because Kyler will flip through my Star Wars archive book that has like all of like the organic creature, like all the sentient creatures that are in Star Wars. And so it's like every once in a while, I'm like, oh, it's that guy from the Thing. And so the one thing that like that one scene from Star Wars where you just see it for a quick second, you're like, that's cool. And then like they have an entire like page for bio about this alien you only had one frame of. It's great. I love this book. It's like $25 on Amazon. I got one for Kyler so he can destroy it, and then I got one for myself.
There you go. That's worth it.
Yeah, because he was infatuated with Raftars.
I know. I sent you the TikTok to show.
That's really good. Yeah.
Sawyerism's Anatomy of a Rathtar that you said Kyler probably knew more than her already.
Yeah, I've read that Wikipedia entry like 5 times, so I knew most of that.
The other thing that I don't think we brushed on the fact that like this will probably be the dissolution of the Imperial Senate. But one thing I saw on social media this week that I forgot about was the deleted scene from, I believe it's from Revenge of the Sith.
Talking about episode 3 where they're all sitting in that room, Mon
with
Mothma,
Padme, Mon Mothma, Bail, and the other 3 senators.
Yep.
That suddenly becomes so important with Andor.
I know that scene. If they would have just left that scene in there, it would have made just all. It would like that moment, that meeting is the spark of the rebellion. Like that is the turning point where they're like, all right, we're fucking doing this. They should have kept that in there because it just gives more. It gives more weight to the actual individuals who make up the hierarchy of the rebellion.
And that scene is so, because I watched it again now because of this. That scene's so interesting because you see how careful Bail is too about his words and the way he's like, I'm not saying that. Like he's so careful.
Well, there's ears everywhere too, so they have to be careful there.
Right, and he says that twice. Like I'm not saying that. Like I'm not saying open rebellion, but I am saying open
like
rebellion.
Something has to change here. But yeah, you can see that. Like I agree. Like we will definitely get to a point where the senators are feeling all of the pressure from the Imperial moths and whatnot, because you can see that like all the higher like ISB agents and admirals and moths are all standing around cheering and whatnot. I'm sure like those people are applying so much pressure to those sectors and to those senators, that's where things start to crumble, because now they're applying their own pressure on it, and they're making they're making the senators make those decisions for them.
Yeah, and he even in the voiceover he talks about how they're all high and mighty, you know, and they think
Very
they're
pious,
invincible.
and they're all above everybody.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
And
It's gonna be great, dude. It's really gonna paint like it's gonna do a great job of painting the Empire as just terrible oppressors. Like the one scene where it's that overview that I always go back to like Catalyst, where they talk about the stripping of the planets, the actual like just going in there and just pulling every single piece of resource out. That scene, that deep mining is taken from an excerpt from Catalyst, and Catalyst is all about this time period that this takes place in, of them going in and just strip mining a planet. And it's so cool that we actually get to see it, because it really just gives it really gives it the gravity that it deserves, as far as like what extents the Empire went to build the war machines that they have. Because like that's the biggest thing. Like they literally went from nothing, because they had all of the ships from the Clone Wars, and then they completely stripped it all down and rebuilt. And where did they get it all from? They had to go and just suck it out from planets, which is gross.
Crazy.
Yeah.
It really is.
And now we get to see it.
Yeah. And I find it interesting that, you know, a lot of in both trailers, a lot of people we meet that I'm assuming are rebels, they live in huts. They're very poor. They have nothing. And it very much reminds me of revolutions we've seen in our history, in our timeline, where the people that have the least rise up, because it's like, I got nothing to fucking lose. And that's how both trailers have felt to me, is like, we have nothing to lose.
Yep.
Like, we'll be careful, we'll be smart, we'll be stealthy, but we have nothing to lose. And that's part I'm most excited about, when it's like the seed of the rebellion, is like just how desperate things become, and how these people have to start making difficult decisions on what they're going to do.
Yeah, and they recognize that it's much bigger than themselves. Right? They're just a piece of it. You know,
because it's a galaxy. I mean, if you think of the scale, just based on, I mean, we war in the world right now, today, at this very moment, and it doesn't affect most of the people listening to this show, but it does affect us in supply chains and all that stuff. Can you imagine on a galactic scale?
Yeah.
Multiple planets?
No.
Like, that's just nuts. That's crazy.
Nuts. Yeah.
So, I haven't been this stoked for a Star Wars show since they announced probably Obi-Wan getting his own show.
It was a really good trailer.
Yeah, both of them have been excellent. I have a feeling this show is going to be great. One cool thing before we move on about this show is they did not film on the volume at all. Everything is made practical. They're real sets. No use of the volume whatsoever. It's the first Star Wars and Marvel show to not use the volume in filming. And that was Tony Gilroy's, who I believe is the director, Paul, if you could check that, double check that, make sure that fact is correct. And he just said, yep, we're old school. We didn't use stagecraft at all. So everything you see in the show, as far as sets go, obviously it'll be CGI, but as far as sets go, is real. It was made, and I think that's awesome. And that's kudos to Lucas and Disney for letting them do that. Like, let each director give their vibe and do their thing and do it the way they want to do it.
Yeah,
because you get a much better product that way.
I wonder what the budget was for this then, because it looks like a movie. Like this looks like it belongs in the theater.
And it's 12 episodes. That's a lot.
Yeah, man. I'm excited. I'm excited because just knowing like what they're putting into it, like they're gonna pull all the stops out, and this will set the bar for more live action Star Wars shows. So they're just gonna keep on getting better and better. Like,
especially shows that don't star Force users. That's the key with this one. Yeah. We got that with Mandalorian. That's why Andor got made, was because Mandalorian did so well, and it was not about a Force user. Yes,
because Star Wars fans are ready for that. They want to know more about this universe they love so much.
Right. The average fan wants to see what's on the other side of the movies. That's essentially what we're experiencing. So, I thought that was so cool that they use practical sets. I'm a huge fan of that. Don't get me wrong, like we work with Diamond View here in Tampa, and they use their version of it, which is called the View. But the idea of using I'm a fan of doing both because there's some scenes that like, yeah, you got to use that. If you were gonna go to what's the planet in Clone Wars with all the bright colors, the mushrooms and stuff. It's a lot in the animated series. They see it briefly in episode 3.
I know what you're
Starts
talking
with
about.
an F. I can't remember the name of it.
Brain was not ready for that.
But like that would do better on a volume set than a practical set, in my opinion.
Yeah, for sure. Or like being inside like a star or a space station, you know, or like a star cruiser, or like anything that like, you know, would be just like so over the top that you would definitely need that type of production to step in.
I literally just typed in planets in Star Wars that start with F.
Oh, good luck.
Felucia, thank you. So Felucia was the one I was talking about. But yeah, that would be great in a volume set, like
Sure.
So it's pretty cool. On the note of live action and keeping it in line here, at Comic-Con in San Diego, Screen Rant was interviewing our good friend Cameron Monaghan, who plays Cal Kestus in Jedi Fallen Order, for his new movie Paradise Highway, and the question came up of what are your thoughts on live action Cal Kestis, and he had one line answer. Well, of course there's interest. That's all I can say. And then he laughed.
I wonder if he did the creepy Joker laugh too.
Oh, because he was Joker in Gotham. What Andor, or we think we'll see him in...
So Andor makes sense. Andor 100% would make sense. He interacted with some of those characters that showed up on screen. So he's definitely around in this time period. He's out and about in the galaxy, and Lord knows where Andor will show up. For Obi-Wan, it didn't make sense. That it just like it was a very binary theme.
It did in the Inquisitorium. That
was
sense.
Yeah, but it made sense from just like we know a guy who already did this thing. Like other than that,
they said no one's stupid enough to break in there, and I'm like,
yeah, but okay, but like the only person who would know that is if you played the video game. But I think for Cal to be introduced as a live action character in this show makes sense. He's a part of the rebellion to a certain degree. He's assisting in the rebellion. He interacted with rebels. So for his name to be brought up, or for him to even like have a part where they do bring in a Force user, they bring in this Jedi, but he's very, very different from your stereotypical like Skywalker Jedi. It's very plausible. I would be actually disappointed if we don't see him in this show.
Interesting.
Because for him to have his own show wouldn't make sense.
No, but the only other place I could see him showing up that we know of in canon right now is the Ahsoka show. That's it.
How?
That's it. That's the only other one I can think of.
How does that make sense?
It makes sense for him to show up in Andor. I'm just saying.
Yeah, but in Ahsoka, there's assumptions that have to be made for him to show up. He doesn't die at the end of his journey, and then somehow he wasn't killed during the. He wasn't. I guess he wasn't killed after the Empire was destroyed.
Which we don't want to make that assumption.
But he would be really old.
He'd be 20 years older.
But he's already, so he'd be like 40, almost 50 by that time.
How old
By
is he in real
Ahsoka
life?
time, he'd be like 45.
In real life, he is
But
28.
but him showing up in Andor makes a ton of sense.
Yeah,
So,
and
so
then
I'm
like
down
you said,
for that one. And
we
it doesn't feel forced. Obi-Wan, him showing up in Obi-Wan, 100% just always, the idea of it felt like it was fan service. It felt forced. It just never made sense. But this feels right. It
If we
also
get him,
fits
I
into a
want-
really nice cinematic lens too.
I want Quinlan then too if we get him.
So the only reason why, like, I think Quinlan's story will be told through like a Clone Wars medium. So he might show up in like the Bad Batch.
And your dirty fan fiction.
Yeah, exactly. I don't think Quinlan's story is going to be told in Andor. That doesn't make sense. Because like
Story is one thing, cameo is another thing.
Yeah, but it just doesn't like it doesn't feel like it is appropriate. Like he's not fighting for the rebels. He's not a part of the rebellion. Like
Right.
he's a on his own way. He's a wayfinder at this point. So like him being mentioned in Obi-Wan totally makes sense. But for him to show up in Andor, to me, it would be fan service. Because of the lens that these shows are being shot through.
Fair.
So that's my hot take on it.
Ooh, so edgy. Well, we'll see. We'll see. Like you said, if he shows up in Andor, it would make sense because we know he's still alive for his trilogy.
Mm-hmm.
And if he showed up in Ahsoka, we would know that he lives through his trilogy, which would ruin a bit of it. So we'll see. We will see what happens. The only other bit of news that we have this week is the High Republic. They revealed some more characters. It's from StarWars.com, so if you want to go over there and check it out. We have Alex Greylark, who is the first new revealed character. He looks like some sort of noble or something. The two characters will meet. They don't really. Oh, is he? So, oh no, this is before. So this is not Chancellor So. This is a different Chancellor. And then we have Salandra Show. She definitely is a Jedi. I see her lightsaber. Shown here, based on a weapon of choice, Salandra views herself as a shield against evil in the galaxy.
What's the ornate backing that she has? Is that a shield?
Maybe.
Is that a actual like force shield?
Dude, could you imagine?
I'm saying like, what if it's a Kyber? It's a Kyber powered shield.
I think you're right
It's
because it said much
energy-based,
like
and
her
so
weapon.
And so she turns it on, and then she's able to like, you know,
A sword and shield Jedi.
Yeah, dude. I mean, like it makes sense. Like so in the Vader comic, like the idea of using a Kyber to power something other than a lightsaber is kind of being explored. Like, what if she has to use her lightsaber and she inserts it into the shield, and that's what's powering the shield? And so like in like the Vader comic, a Jedi takes their I forgot the character. He takes the lightsaber and puts it on top of the blaster, and it integrates the blaster, and then he's like shooting essentially like lightsaber bolts. So I'm thinking that's where we're going with this. And if that's where they're going with the weaponry now, oh my gosh, Kevin, this opens up so many new avenues as far as just like Jedi combat.
It's time for crazy theories with Kevin. So they just announced right before they announced that they were putting Knights of the Old Republic on hold or leaked. They had just announced that Star Wars The Old Republic, the MMO, they were going to be putting more time and energy and resources into it, which is very exciting. But this begs, whenever something happens in media, they put it into that game, like almost immediately. Like when Kylo first debuted, it was like, bam, we got the new style lightsaber with, that you could customize and put in there.
Okay.
I am wondering if Jedi and Sith tanks will suddenly get force shields now.
Oh, that'd be so sick.
That'd be so cool.
It'd be
Be so much reworking and stats and oh my God. But man, that would be awesome. The other thing they revealed was 2 of the variant covers for the #2 issue of the High Republic.
Good.
I mean, they look amazing. The problem is I don't know these characters yet, so I'm having trouble like making that connection. Like I'm so connected to the other ones.
Sure.
If you didn't read the books, some of whom die.
Yeah, like if you see Skier, like, yeah, sick.
Skier. And Comac and all of them. So it's again mentally, this is a bit of a shift for me. So I'm hoping the reason we go back in time makes more sense after I'm reading these. But right now, I'm kind of like, well, I want to learn more about them still.
I want to know what happened. I want to know what happens with Markion.
You will find out in time, Tim.
God damn it.
The crawl for the comics debuted at Comic-Con, and we have it here, and I'll read it real quick. It's called The Quest of the Jedi. In a time of great exploration, in an effort to unite the galaxy, the Chancellors of the Republic, working alongside the courageous and wise Jedi Knights, have dispatched dozens of Pathfinder teams into the farthest reaches of the Outer Rim. But it is also a time of great uncertainty. When is it not a time of great uncertainty in Star Wars?
It always is.
Communication is unreliable, and tall tales of mysterious planets and monstrous creatures abound. That gets me so excited. Prospectors and pirates roam the frontier, and the worlds of Iram and Irano are locked in a forever war. And on the far off planet of Dalna, a new threat to the galaxy is beginning to emerge.
Ooh.
So again, I'm excited. I don't like the departure to new characters, but hell, man, you know, you do what you got to do. You roll with the punches. This is where you choose to be a fan of Star Wars or you choose to be a whiny bitch troll on social media.
Wow.
You can make that choice. And I know people are like, "Oh, Kevin's a Star Wars stan." No, I'll tell you if I don't like it, but I'm still gonna try it and give it a whirl. You know, how many of these people that talk shit have never even seen the sequel trilogy? That's my other question. Cheers.
Damn, Kevin just out here just throwing punches today.
Yeah, I don't care.
Kevin woke up, chose violence.
I did, because I told you we're recording this late because I forgot to tell my wife that she had to drive Jules to school because school started again. So that's my theory on all of this, and I'm excited. I'm excited for the new High Republic stuff. It's been a journey. I'm really dying for Old Republic, and the fact that the game is indefinitely delayed makes me sad.
Yeah, because I don't want to have to go and play Star Wars: The Old Republic online because I hate turn-based combat.
The MMO is not turn-based.
And I hate long decision dialogue.
Yes, and you will absolutely hate it. It's like the BioWare games where you have full conversations with people. It is a BioWare game. You have full conversations. It's like Mass Effect.
At least makes
you not like
no, but because okay, all right. So before we end, when it comes to like updated decision making, I like it how it is now in like the dark picture anthologies, like where so you have like you make a decision and like the cutscene continues on and whatnot. Like that feels very engaging. I feel very immersed in that. Is like the conversation is all mapped out and everything, and I'm just making decisions and that changes the dialogue. If the dialogue was like that and the characters were like moving and the scene was actually engaging, I would have a ton of fun with the dialogue. I think that would be a blast. But the problem is that it's just cutscene, your face, mouth moving, nothing really happening. You have to do all the reading and the talking while you're streaming, which is, oh my God, you're trying to talk to chat and then they want you to read to you like they're toddlers. And then yeah, so that's my problem with it, Kevin. It's just like it just doesn't feel very updated for the times.
I am totally fine with that opinion. I understand that. I think because I was grandfathered in, it doesn't bother me. I'm also, we've talked about this before and we'll get out of here, but I'm also a story guy. I love to dive into a story and lore. And I know you do too, but there's a way you like to do it versus the way I like to do it. And that's the thing. Like I said, the first time I started playing WoW, I was sitting on the toilet reading WoW Wiki so I could learn all the lore behind all those encounters that I was going into. So, you know, like it's just different ways we like to consume media. I think you would enjoy the Star Wars MMO like when you're retired and you have time and you just want to screw around with your friends.
Yeah, I'm thinking from
around.
like an engaging like stream experience. I'm just like
right, and a whole other, and you know, go to the other podcasts I do with Clintus and Mike, and you can hear about how streaming just absolutely. I feel like it shoved a shiv into my fucking brain, and I'm just getting it out now. But like, yeah, you have to look at it through a different lens, and I feel like down the road you'll probably go back and be like, I'm gonna give it a whirl.
Yeah.
But now there's not a chance in hell, and that's why I've never pushed you to play it because I just don't think now is the time for you to experience that, and I would never push you to play Knights.
That's why I need more Star Wars games in my life because I'm just itching for it, man.
Knights is like I tried playing some of the old ones because I have the Origin access or whatever it's called, and like I tried playing Dark Forces, and I'm like, oh God, this looked so much better when I was a kid. This is oh man, I can't do this. And it's just like
yeah.
Republic Commando Remastered I have on Switch, and that is good. Like I can play that, it's fine. It's still dated, but it's remastered, so they cleaned it up. Same with KOTOR 2. But even KOTOR 2, the combat, Tim, I could just see you flipping out like, I can't do that. I want more Star Wars, but this is not it.
Mm-hmm.
So Thank you for listening to episode 93 of Star Wars and Scotch. Make sure you head over to Tim's channel on Facebook, fb.gg/darkness429. You follow him everywhere, darkness429. I'm Kevin X Vision on Twitter, kmagic101 on Instagram, and everything I do is at raredrop.co. Make sure you rate, review, subscribe for Star Wars and Scotch. I haven't said that in a while, but we would love for you guys to leave some of the reviews and whatnot on YouTube and Facebook and on iTunes and Google. Wherever you consume Star Wars and Scotch. But as always, we appreciate you tuning in every week and hanging out. We're sorry Andor's delayed a month, but trust me, it'll be worth it. Tim and I
didn't do it. It's not our fault.
Yeah, and it's Bob's fault. Just blame everything on Bob. Yeah, we're gonna come up with some fun stuff to do. And next year we got a really cool thing we're doing with Star Wars and Scotch, but you gotta wait.
And as always, may the force be with you.
You said always, so it's rude.
I said and as always. Really good.